and I think it's happening now. So, uh, and does anyone have any questions for me while I wait for Darren to hop on the line? Is Bill Burr classed as a ginger anymore? Okay, guys, it's 2020. We're not classing people by their haircuts or their colors. Uh, oh, there you are, D. Chris. I see you. I see you, dude. I think I can get you. How do I do this? There we go. Uh-oh. Go live. We're going live. D. Chris.
Oh, there we go.
Hey, there we
Hey,
are.
what's up, man?
Yeah.
How are you doing, man? I've been watching this whole thing. How are you
What's
holding
up,
up with all
man?
the info you got to get out of people? I'm
There's
sorry, did I cut
there's
off?
so
Can you hear me?
much.
Okay, good.
Yeah, no,
We're
you're
good. We're
good.
good. We're caught up. Yeah.
There's just a lot of scrolling on the bottom that kind of throws you. I feel like I was trying to lock in with my favorite, Bill Burr, and then it's just cat, people just screaming tight
Dude,
butthole at me
can I
and other things.
can I say, so I tuned in a little early to see what was going on. I started talking to Bill and I was like, oh man, I don't have to fucking talk after Bill Burr, much less take you away from hanging out with Bill Burr. Like you said it right after you hung up, you're just like, guys, Bill Burr, if you're in comedy or just a fan of like smart, funny people, what a motherfucker, dude. What a great dude. I'm so thrilled for you
Yeah,
that you got to have the
yeah,
interaction. I was very jealous.
yeah. The guy's a legend. What's cool is he was like, oh, I thought we never met before. We've met like 5 or 6 other times, but
Right. Yeah.
it's all been so brief, and I think I've been like kind of nervous. It's like
Totally.
it's like when you meet like a hero of yours, you just sort of like lay back in the cut and you're like, hey, what's up?
Right.
I'm also here too.
Right.
You
And you
know?
also don't want to be
Uh,
that guy that says, hey, we've met before. You just kind of cut
for
your
sure.
losses and be like, let's just
Yeah,
this is the first time ever. Don't worry about it. I haven't
yeah.
been holding on to the last 6 times. This is it.
Well,
Speaking of
if
which,
you
I
wouldn't
want to hear
mind, I
your
think we
Vegas
got to
story.
talk. We got to
Yeah.
talk.
Well, I want to hear this
Oh,
Vegas
yeah.
story that you were talking about. But we
Well,
do have
real
to talk
quick,
about Quibi.
let's talk. I just want to get the Quibbiness out
Yes,
right away,
please. Let's
because
do
I
it.
don't think I did that much with Bill. Quibi, it launched today. Did it launch today?
Today, this morning, I literally
Yeah,
downloaded it as soon as I could. Sorry, there's a lag.
yeah,
Sorry, that's gonna happen.
yeah.
But
No,
yeah,
I got it
Quibi's
too.
out.
Yeah,
It's great. I've been enjoying it.
yeah. Quibi. It stands for Quibisodes. As Bill said, I think Bill did a better job of hosting my segment than I did hosting my segment.
That's okay.
But yeah, yeah, it's fine. I'll give him that one. He needs
Um,
it.
I have questions for you because I've been watching Quibi all morning and I've been really enjoying the sort of like user interface. And I was watching your Punked,
Yeah.
and as if Chance wasn't one of the coolest, funnest dudes ever anyway. You did an excellent job of something that I got to tip my hat to you for, which I think is really indicative of not only your character, but your disposition as like a comedian. You kept it the fuck cool, which
I
is to
was
say, if people with far less access to the comedy and absurdity of life, I think would have absolutely gone fucking AWOL and would have just let loose. But there was this part of you that was just like, oh, like this is so absurd
I
that
was I was
yeah,
so over it, dude. I was so over it. I was like, I couldn't believe that it happened. So if you haven't seen, get Quibi. It's free for like 90 days.
yeah, it's a
Uh,
lot of fun.
it's really cool, and it's Punked is back, and Chance the Rapper is hosting it. I got punked. I'll spoil it because they show it in the trailer for it. They drop like a 2-ton wrecking ball on my car,
On your car.
and my car explodes on my car, and I was just like, I showed no emotion. I was just like, okay, that happened.
Yeah,
I'm like the type of thing when something really bad happens, instead of like losing my mind, which I think most people would think I am kind of a high energy guy, I would just like, get, and lose my
no.
mind. But in
Yeah.
fact, I did the
The
exact opposite.
dial
I was
the
like,
dial went so far that it's
I
just
felt,
nothing.
I honestly felt bad for Chance, who I know he picked me because he was like, oh, Adam will lose his mind.
Will be
Adam
crazy,
will be really real crazy and really funny. And then when he popped out, I'm like, oh, I feel so bad, man. I ruined your TV show.
Yeah, I still thought it was great. You were totally cool. It spoke very well of you. Because anytime something crazy happens to me, I've been in situations where things are so absurd to me that I will say, as if to ruin the punked, flattering myself that I would get punked, I'll be like, all right, where's the camera? Where's the fucking camera? Like, come out. You got me. And then there never is a camera, and whatever is happening is actually just shitty.
Is actually, I said that at one point, and I think they must not have picked it up, or they didn't edit it.
Smart.
Yeah, because I said, I like look over at Chloe, who was in on it, who I thought did a good job of like just also punking me. Yeah, look over at my fiance Chloe, and I was like, I feel like I'm getting punked or something. And she's like, I don't know what to tell you. This is crazy.
Good for her.
Real quick, the Vegas story. I remember.
Yes.
This was years ago. This was probably like 5 or 6 years ago, and I don't go to Vegas often. But I was trying to get into some nightclub, and I'm standing there at the front of the line, and it was like 5 or 6 years ago, and the guy's like kind of knew who I was, but was like, yeah, hang on a second, we'll get you. And I'm like, please, can I please come in? If not, it's like a 2.5 mile line to get in. And, I'm not a sexy girl, and I'm like wearing regular clothes. I'm not like clubbed up or anything. Yeah. And the guy's like, yeah, we'll get you. And you and some friends were coming in at that same time. And you go to me, and we had never met each other and don't know each other. And you go, oh, no, they're cool. Let them come. And then the guy's like, all right, and let us in with you.
That is thank God for other people, because I swear to God, millions of people have that memory of you that you don't have. Because I honestly, A, don't remember this. B, that's probably happened once in my life. And most of the time I'm in your position. I feel like I talk to other people, like artists and musicians and people in entertainment, who have been like, yo, you really hooked me up that one time I was in fucking New York, and so wow, I'm shocked and honored that I did that at one point in my life.
No, it was great. I was like,
weird. I peaked.
Darren Criss, man, that guy rules.
I'm glad that it was a good story. Yeah, like I got you in. It wasn't like, oh, he's cool. I'm like, no, you got to stay the fuck away too. Like, damn
he's cool. And they're like, oh, you like him? You sit back with him.
You get out. Yeah.
You're out of here, kid.
I remember my version of meeting you, because we kind of run in sort of parallel universes. I was going to say, I remember I was hosting the Teen Choice Awards in 2013, and we would pass it off, like, take it away, Adam. You do something equally silly. And it would cut to you doing some kind of shenanigans. These are all things that are back cataloged. Hey, look at us now. All right. We're here with Quibi,
Hey, look at
moving
us.
on up. No disrespect.
We're in our respective living rooms.
Yep.
So you got a show now on Quibi.
I do, Royalties. Man. Yes. I'll give you the quick thing.
Give me
which is, I have been, knee deep and consumed with this thing for years. And the fact that Quibi is coming out is such a relief, because, as you know, you can work on something so hard, but if something has a little more exposure, people might be asking you about the Pitch Perfectly things when you've been slaving over your comedy special, and you just want to talk about the comedy special. So that's kind of what Royalties is for me. I created it. I wrote the songs for it. I'm in it. It's sort of my own love note to a side of my life that I'm pretty sure you're not familiar with, which is as a songwriter in Los Angeles, and that's its own kind of microcosm. I'm sure you have lots of friends in that industry. It's it's a world that I've been involved in for years, that I've always been like, this is so ripe for a sort of like a serial comedy, because every assignment you get as a songwriter is for a different song, and you meet it's like speed dating, but you have to write a song with strangers for a huge artist, and you do this day after day after day, and it is wrought with absurd, ridiculous stories that we've pulled little bits and pieces from, but it's less about songwriting and more about zany comedy about songwriters and the world that they live in. Yeah, but it's a really zany thing, and there's a different song for every episode, which is their assignment for a song. We have a ton of amazing guest stars. I don't know if I can talk about yet, but I'll just, I'll just say that we got a lot of cool people coming on, playing cool people.
Yeah, Paul McCartney, heard of him?
Paul, Schmal McCartney. I will.
Schmal
I don't know if I can
Schmartney.
drop it here. I feel like the Quibi people like watching might be like, "Don't blow it," but there
Yeah.
may be a person from a major beloved franchise playing a goofy version of a country rock legend that may or may not be singing about the size of a penis. Like that's what we're
Oh,
dealing with here.
a
This is the high
huge.
art.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, let's guess. It's Harry Potter.
Yep. Definitely. Yep.
Yeah,
Nailed it.
and
How
I
did you
figured it
know?
out.
You
And I
figured it
figured
out.
it out. I like
No,
how
no.
that's how bad at things I am. I call him Harry Potter, and I didn't
Yeah.
even get his name.
Big franchises are just Harry Potter. Speaking of franchises, I was wondering if there was an alternate universe where you did Glee and I did Pitch Perfect, and then I went, oh wait a second, no, that's just we'd both be Skylar Astin because he did both.
Yeah, he did.
managed to pull it
Yeah,
off.
he did do both.
I feel like did you ever
Uh,
audition for that show? I feel like you would have ended up on it had you like just through the
No, I
audition
really didn't.
wheel.
I kind of was in a like way back then. I didn't go on. I didn't have an agent until Workaholics, so I
Really?
didn't. I got Workaholics. I created the show, and then they picked it up, which was insane. And then all of a sudden, all the big agencies were like, "Yeah, sure, no, we've been looking at you." And I'm like, "No, you haven't."
Yeah.
And then, yeah, and then from then on, I like was kind of concentrated the first few years on Workaholics and never really went out on any auditions. So
that's amazing.
no,
Dude.
I never did.
I'm glad you mentioned Workaholics because I'm actually also trying to like multitask and read some of this stuff. So similar to you and your buddies who kind of created that show and that was your sort of calling card from the sort of launching point. I too had this thing I started out of college called StarKid, which was this sort of collective of, we were all in the theater department and we had a series of musical comedy videos we put online, and that kind of started my career as like in musical comedy. And so
Really?
I would be
Oh,
I'd
that's
be with
sad. I
this.
didn't know that.
Yeah, so there's kids talking about Harry Potter. We did this Harry Potter musical where I actually was Harry Potter, so that's unbeknownst to you. That was a nice little Easter egg.
Oh,
But the reason why
really?
the reason why I mention all this is because the guys that I made that stuff with, we just that company turned 10 this year. We made Royalties. So it's if people are watching this that are fans of StarKid from however many years, it's the same kind of zany humor, and that's a company that I wrote a lot of the songs for and acted in. So it's kind of like an extension of that for a lot of the people who may be fans of that or don't know about it and would like to check it out. So that's Royalties. That's my thing, man. Zany original music comedy. Yeah.
And back in the day, it was called StarKid.
Yeah, it still is. The company is called StarKid.
Oh,
it was
company's called StarKid.
You might understand this. It was named. It's just like if you were trying to explain the name Steppenwolf. Like it came from a thing that was like an inside joke, and it just became the name of our company. At one point, Lucius Malfoy calls Harry Potter StarKid Potter, and he was referring to. Do you remember the early '90s movie StarKid about a kid who finds a spacesuit and goes on a space adventure?
No, but I know what I'm doing this afternoon.
There you go. There's your quarantine viewing, but that's what the company's named after. So it's not
cool.
it's not a casting agency for children. It's a reference to the '90s movie.
I'd like if that was also what you're doing. And on top of the new
looking
Quibi
to
show,
cast
I'm looking to cast children in commercials and other works.
Just trying to hustle, man. It's tough out there.
Get out there, man. Well, good talking to you, dude.
Likewise, man.
Yeah, it was awesome catching up, and maybe in 5 years I'll see you back in Vegas.
Yeah, we'll see you in the line somewhere, man. We'll take care of each other.
All right,
later, take care, dude. Peace.
See you, man. D fucking Criss, man. Darren Criss, he's a super talented guy. Like, I feel like people think since I was in Pitch Perfect, I'm as talented as that. Not even close. Like I accidentally fell into Pitch Perfect. I could sing just good enough that they're like, I guess you can be in an a cappella singing group in college. But Darren Criss is like the real deal. He, super. I didn't even talk about Giovanni Versace. Did you guys see that? I think it was on FX. Incredible. If you haven't seen it, you got to watch it. He just acts the shit out of that part. And makes me feel inferior. So thanks, D. Criss. That's why I had to cut it short.